In this tutorial, you will learn how you can use webhooks in Make so that you can receive data from almost any tool, even if there's no native integration in Make. So what is a webhook? So a webhook is a way for an application to notify another application that something has just happened, and here's the data of the thing that happened. So in Make, for example, when you create a webhooks module, which I'm going to show you in a bit, you get a webhook URL, and this is basically the address that the other application sends the notification to. It's important to know that this webhook URL is like a unique URL for your webhook, for your scenario. So you want to treat this like a password, because otherwise other people and other applications can send notifications to your webhook and start your scenario, which you obviously do not want. So now let's create a scenario with a webhook so that you can see how it works. So for this example, I have this contact form on a website. And as soon as someone submits that, I want to send a notification over with data to the Make webhook, which is then going to start a scenario, which is going to add the submission data of that form to this Google Sheet. So the first thing we do is we're going to add a trigger to our scenario. So we click this over here, we go to webhooks, and we look here for triggers, and we look here for custom webhook. So it is a trigger, which means that as soon as our webhook is going to receive data, it will trigger and start our scenario. So over here, we're going to add a new webhook, and we give it a clear name. So then over here, what you see now, it says listening for data. Send a request with sample data to the URL below. We will automatically determine the data structure and values you can map into the following modules. So it says basically, hey, please send some sample data over to the webhook so that we can actually work with it in the next modules. So you want to copy over the webhook URL. You want to go over to your application. In my case, I use my Forms plugin, and over here I add it to the webhook URL. You will obviously use a different kind of application, but usually you need to look for a webhook or webhook URL and then paste that webhook URL in there. Now then, it is listening for data, right? So I want to do a form submission, so that we can see over here that it detected some data, and then we can map those in the next modules. So you see over here that it found fields and submission details. Now then I'm going to add another module. I'm going to look here for Google Sheets, add a row, and then I look for my spreadsheet. So my spreadsheet is called contact form submission. Then I select the sheet name. And then over here, you see the columns. So we have name, email address, and question. So those are the first row in here. Those are our column titles, name, email address, and question. Now then we can put our little cursor inside these fields and we can map those values. So over here, you see we have fields and submission details. So these are both collections that have more data in them. So over here, I add first name, email address, and question, and then I click save, and then I save the scenario, and then we want to test if it's actually working. So to do that, we click here run once, and then I'm going to go back over to my contact form, and I say here hey there, and then I quickly go back. You see that the data is being received. You can also go in this bubble over here and you can see what kind of data the webhook is actually receiving, which can be quite handy if you're trying to figure out why something is maybe not working. And then we can see over here that the input, we added these values to our Google Sheet, and the Google Sheet was updated. So if you go over here now, you see here that it says Emma Doe, hi there. So your webhook is now working, which is great. But the thing with webhooks is they can only receive data. If you want to send over data, then you need to watch this tutorial over here, where I'm going to explain how the HTTP module works, so that you can also send data over to other webhooks or other applications.